identify as gay, and I love men. I love everything about them. I love their kisses. I love their penises. So that's me. Doing drag is like being a therapist for yourself. Like when I'm having like rough times, I could go to drag and just siphon that negativity into my performance and come up with the most beautiful things that I didn't know that was holding inside of me. The drag has saved me for sure. Drag has saved my life.
I'm Tynomi Banks from Toronto, Canada. All I wanted to do in my life is travel and perform, and people need to see me because like I'm amazing.
The most interesting thing about me is my legs. They're very nice and I don't pad. And one thing I know for sure is I'm going to be very famous. I knew there's something a little bit strange about me in, I guess, middle school. So I always hung out with girls all the time, and then when boys would come around, it'd be like I feel like a little bit like, okay, something's up. But for sure, I think when I started really noticing I was gay was in high school. I felt very, I guess, held back. I felt like I couldn't be myself. I felt like I had to, for my family's sake, for my mom's sake, be the son that she always wanted. So I was living, I guess, someone else's truth, her truth. But for me, I just knew there was all these different feelings and struggles happening inside my body. But like living in a Christian family, we're 7-day Adventists. So we'd go to church Saturdays. I'd go to church again with my grandma on Sunday. And it's just like church, 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 church. And then the sermons were all about different things. But I remembered one sermon that really stood out. They were like, God's watching us, watching things we do. And it really was like, oh my God, I'm so scared to come out. I'm off at college, living my life. And then summer, college goes down and then I go back home and I'm like living the life with my friends, going to the mall, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, one day I came home to get ready to go back out and my mom made up a story because she knows me and I don't know why she just didn't ask me out blank, but she made up a little story and said that she saw me at the mall. She's like, hey, your stepfather saw you at the mall acting up. And I'm like, what do you mean acting up? She's like acting different. I'm like, well, you need to tell me what acting different means because I'm just hanging out with my friends. She's like, she said that you were carrying on like acting gay. And I'm like, well, do you want to know? And she's like, yeah, I need to know the truth if you're living here. I'm like, well, I am gay. And I was so angry because I was just like, why you just ask me? She was very like, are you serious? Are you serious? And I literally just ran to my room. I was like, shit, I made a mistake. My secret's out. I don't even know how to handle this. It's like, it's a big thing, you know? And you're living in a family who, who certain people select different parts of the Bible and say like, being gay isn't right and that you should die. So it's like, I was in this family like this. Like if I was in Jamaica and came out, I don't think I'd be alive today or I'd be very hurt or just hiding. So I told her and I ran to my room. She came and sat beside me with the Bible and was like, hey, we need to pray about this because like you need to make sure you're gay and you have to accept God into your life. Like if I wasn't, I'm like, so I got mad again. I was like, Mom, I go to church with you every Saturday. I go to church with grandma every Sunday. What do you think I'm praying about? What she was trying to do was trying to save me from the world. And I didn't see it like that. I just saw her come in the room with the Bible and I thought she was just going to be crazy, blessing this bad spirits out of me. But it was not about that. It was about her. She didn't want me to die. She's seen these things. She was awake, like, or woke, as you want to say, to what was going on in the world. Like gays dying, gays being like made fun of, like all these things. She just didn't want that life for me and that type of stress for me. I think we talked twice since I moved out. So that's a few months had passed and like I'm close with my mom. And it was just it was Christmas. I was sitting outside, it was snowing. She looked at me and she's like, are you happy? And I just started crying. And she's just like, what's going on? Like, move back home. I'm like, no, I'm gay, mom. And like, I can't even talk to you about it. She's like, you're the one who's angry and like wants to be alone. She's like, I just don't want you to die. Like, I love you and I just didn't want you to be hurt. That's all. I didn't say nothing about you can be gay and all this stuff. I will love you. It was just such a beautiful moment. And I don't know. And ever since then, it's like our relationship. When I say it's like, oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. Like, she's my best friend, mom, everything. We talk all the time. My stepdad's so like just doesn't care. He's like, how are you doing? Help me with this. Like, he doesn't care. Like, nothing changed for him. But my real dad, we're not really close. I'm trying. I think it stems from other childhood things that he's done in the past. And so we kind of grew apart, but we're working on getting closer. Telling my mom, I didn't want to be a failure in her eyes. I didn't want to be rejected by her. I didn't want her love for me to stop. I didn't want I didn't want her to feel like I've changed and I wasn't her son anymore. She wants things from her son. She wants grandkids. She wants us to get married and she wants us to be happy. So all these things are just scary. I'm like, mom, I can have these things, but with the person I actually love. I had one gay friend in school and we were like kind of just on the DL with our gayness, but we snuck out the dorm and headed downtown one night and we went to this club called It. And I saw this performance by this drag queen and it was inspired by like an X-Men theme. And literally I love anything comic books, anything mythical. I think all gays are all about fantasy because like we live a double life. So like I really related to X-Men because it's like there are these mutants who had to hide their powers, almost like being gay, like the same thing. So this performer performed a number and dressed up as Storm. And like when I tell you, for me, seeing that for the first time, I was like, what is happening? Like it was just blew my senses. And that was my first taste of drag, like to see it. And I just knew I wanted to be, I didn't know I wanted to be a queen, but I knew I wanted to feel that energy on stage. And so like over the years, I was like doing dancing and stuff like that. And then I somehow met a friend who got me to backup dance for a few queens. I was obsessed with it. And one day, my best friend had a job at the barn when the barn was open. And so he asked me, he's like, please do me this favor. Can you like do drag and dress up? And I was like, for you, I'll help you, but like, I don't want to do it. Have no interest. I don't know who told me what. I did it. Literally, my world changed that day. I was like, okay, I'm kind of liking this. And then the second week, then the next week, then all of a sudden a few months, and then years. And now here we are, 13 years later, been performing drag, and like it's a career.
Serving body, giving face. Watch out, Canada. I'm here to win this race. If Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell had a little love child, that would be me. I could be soft and so cute, or ready to give this fucking neck an attitude all the fucking all the time.
Drama, yeah, you're gonna get drama with queens. I'm like a new thing on the block, so you get like kind of jealousy and people trying to like sabotage your climb. And for me, I didn't know I didn't know I even want to do this, and then I did it very naturally, very well. So just a lot of like unnecessary comments and feedback, but like, not a whole bunch. And then being a person of color, that played into it. And at the time, I didn't really notice, but now that we're in this whole climate change with racism and all that stuff, looking back, I'm like, oh, I could have probably gotten further quicker if I was white. And so like seeing those blocks, but like I've always, I don't know, my mom has raised me very well. She's always like, you know what, put in the work. Like let no one decide your path. So that's why I always have this drive in me. I always want to do things first, always. Like I just conduct myself as a star, and that's thanks to my mom. I actually have to say no. Like I don't think I'd be the person I am today without those roadblocks, the people I've met, the friendships I made, the way I came out. I don't know if I change anything, I'd be sitting here right now, you know, doing what I'm doing today. So no, I love how my life has turned out. I would say make sure you have talent and then walk away. that's that's my favorite one. But now I don't know. Now I've been through things. I would literally just take the time out and I just want them to talk to me so I could talk to them and just tell them what helped me is talking to the other queens who were there before me. Look to your mothers, and meaning your drag moms of the community. These are pillars who paved the way for me to be here. So do your research. Make sure you want to do things. Practice. Failing means growing. That's what I would say. The most important thing is your sanity, your health. It's like your second family that you don't know that you really have, the friends that you've made. This is the kind of things I would tell them. I'm like, I know you're afraid, but like you want to open whoever you're coming out to, you want to open their mind and make sure you have support. Everyone deserves love and to be who they really are. That's what I would say.
I'm just like all this color coming at you. Like someone took acid and saw me for the first time. I'm living for my crown though.